For thousands of years, moving heavy loads meant dragging them over loose log rollers. It was slow, grueling work, and because the logs weren't attached to anything, they were dangerously unstable. Early humans relied on this method for nearly 10 millennia. Despite understanding the mechanics of rolling, they never moved toward a permanent axle until they encountered an environment where these loose rollers were no longer an option. Computational structural analysis suggests the transition was a sequence of small, forced adaptations. The wheel wasn't a sudden invention. It was an evolutionary response to a specific engineering failure. That failure happened here, the copper mines of the Carpathian Mountains around 3900 BC. In these narrow, steep shafts, there was no room to manually retrieve a log from behind a cart and move it to the front. The terrain demanded a roller that stayed attached. To solve this, Neolithic miners developed heavy wooden discs. They were solid, thick, and durable enough to withstand the jagged floor of a mine. By drilling a hole through the center to hold a fixed axle, they linked the rolling surface directly to the cart. For the first time, the rollers traveled with the load. The wheel emerged as a desperate necessity. It was forged in the claustrophobic depths of the earth, driven by the brutal mechanics of resource extraction. This technology eventually reached the plains of Lower Mesopotamia, but these solid wooden discs were still heavy and difficult to maneuver over long distances. Around 2000 BC, builders hollowed out the interior of the wheel. By leaving only these thin spokes, they slashed the weight of the vehicle without sacrificing its structural integrity. This lightweight design allowed for terrifying speed. Across the Eurasian steppes, the spoked chariot became a dominant military force, transforming the scale of ancient warfare. By the Middle Ages, the wheel had scaled up to mechanize the economy. Massive water wheels harnessed the energy of rivers to power mills and irrigation systems, automating tasks once performed by hand. Yet, while the wheel transformed Eurasia, it hit a strange wall in Mesoamerica. The Aztecs were fully aware of the concept, but they used it exclusively for children's toys. Their environment offered no draft animals to pull heavy loads, and the dense, rugged jungle terrain made large carts impractical. There was also a cultural barrier. Their religious values emphasized physical labor as a divine sacrifice, making labor-saving machines like the cart culturally taboo. While the wheel remained a miniature curiosity in the Americas, its path elsewhere shows that technology doesn't just need to work, it needs a landscape and a culture that allows it to grow. By the 1800s, wheel-making was a peak artisanal craft. Wheelwrights spent weeks hand-shaping every spoke and felloe, binding the wood together with an iron outer rim. But these wheels were rigid. Every vibration from the road passed directly through the iron rim and into the vehicle, resulting in a bone-jarring ride. Robert Thomson tried to solve this in 1845 with a patent for a rubber wheel filled with air. It was a revolutionary idea, but the manufacturing was too complex to be commercialized. The breakthrough came in 1888, when Scottish veterinarian John Boyd Dunlop reinvented the pneumatic tire to make his son's bicycle ride more comfortable. By using a flexible inner tube to hold compressed air, Dunlop's design absorbed the ruts of the road. It turned a rigid mechanical part into a shock absorber. Trapping air finally broke the thousands-of-year-old friction between the wheel and the raw earth. This change made the high-speed automobile possible. As the first cars emerged, engineers had to return to heavy steel for strength. These early motorized carriages required robust, rigid rims to support the weight of the engine. But as horsepower and top speeds increased, steel became a bottleneck. Its dense weight made vehicles slower to accelerate and more difficult to steer. The 1960s motorsport revolution shifted the focus to performance. Racing teams began casting wheels from lightweight aluminum and magnesium alloys. This chart models the physics of unsprung mass. Because the alloy wheel on the right is lighter, it has much less rotational inertia. It takes less energy to spin up and less effort to turn, improving both fuel efficiency and handling. Today, this lineage has led to the diamond-cut alloy, a design that bridges high-performance metallurgy with precision finishing. After the wheel is cast, a diamond-tipped lathe precisely shaves away microscopic layers of metal. This creates a highly reflective two-tone finish that has become a standard in modern automotive design. The invention of the wheel wasn't a single event in Mesopotamia. It is an unbroken 6,000-year chain of reinvention, a process that continues as long as we have new environments to navigate.